Leute, wie geht's euch? Uns geht's gut, denn Marian und ich, wir sind heute in den Rocket Beans Übertragungsvan gesprungen und ganz schnell runtergedüst, denn auf der Reeperbahn im Mojo Club, da zeigt Square Enix heute Just Cause 3. Das Ganze ist ein Hands-on-Event, das heißt, wir werden unsere Grapsche-Fingerchen auch ans Spiel legen können und das Ganze zocken können. Das werden wir jetzt mal ein bisschen ausgiebiger machen und dann berichten wir von drinnen, was da noch abgeht und wir gucken, was wir sonst noch so machen können. Also bis gleich.
Just Cause 3 steht heute also auf dem Programm. Nach den beiden letzten Teilen stellt sich eigentlich nur eine Frage. Wird Square es schaffen, noch mehr Knalleffekte, noch mehr Feuerbälle und noch mehr Zerstörung in den dritten Ableger der Reihe zu quetschen? Die Requisiten auf dem Event zum Spiel ließen jedenfalls keine Fragen offen.
Tja, bei anderen Events, da verteilt der Gastgeber schon mal ein Goodie-Bag, da ist dann vielleicht ein T-Shirt drin, vielleicht ein Mauspad, aber bei Square Enix, da nimmt man das nicht ganz so genau. Da gibt es auch schon mal eine RPG und die gehen wir, glaube ich, gleich mal auf der Straße ausprobieren. Aber na, wir gehen jetzt erstmal, glaube ich, ein bisschen Just Cause 3 spielen, denn dafür sind wir ja eigentlich hier. Aber das Baby, das nehmen wir dann, glaube ich, mal mit nach Hause. Vielleicht kann man damit auch was in der Redaktion ein bisschen machen, irgendwie, wenn mal wieder Autos falsch parken. Also was ist das da ganz praktisch? Aber wir gehen jetzt erstmal hoch, gucken uns das Spiel an und ihr kommt hoffentlich mit und genießt das genauso sehr wie wir. Bis später!
Aber was ist denn eigentlich das Besondere an Just Cause 3? Wir haben jemanden gefragt, der sich damit auskennt.
Hi kids, my name is Omar Shakir. My name is Omar Shakir. I'm the content producer on Just Cause 3. We started by listening to player feedback on Just Cause 2. What were some of the biggest gripes? What were the biggest things that we needed to iterate on? That was the parachute. The parachute was fun, but probably needed another pass as far as stability when it comes to combat. So we stabilized the parachute as a much more valid combat platform. Getting up in the air feels good. Shooting down at enemies feels good. You feel like you're in control of the parachute, and you're still in control of the reticle. One of the first things we did. We obviously changed the setting. We went Mediterranean, and that wasn't random. We didn't just want to shoot the Mediterranean. It was more, we wanted something that was interesting for the player to play in, but also provided this sort of architecture that would be fun to destroy and also fun to traverse around. So the Tuscan building, the rooftops, that's on purpose. The reason we chose those sort of roofs was because they're interesting to grapple on. They're ledges that you can pull yourself over, and there's this constant sort of flow in the roofs that make you feel like, oh, I'm gonna grapple there, I'm gonna grapple there. Whereas other landscapes were very flat and wouldn't provide you with the greatest grapple experience. So that was intentional. Also, the Mediterranean gives us valleys, it gives us tunnels, it gives us crystal blue water for boat combat. It gives us all those things that we wanted to do more of and we wanted to make more fun. So the wingsuit probably is the punctuating traversal mechanism for Rico. That we had the parachute for the sort of death from above aspect that people loved in JC2. We improved the basic ground locomotion, and what the wingsuit brought for us was that missing piece of how do I get from there to there fast in the most creative, fun way possible, and that was the wingsuit. The AI, probably one of my personal favorites. In JC2, you know, there was AI, and there was a difficulty setting, and you felt like you were in combat a lot of the time. But the AI in Just Cause 3 is way more reactive and way more responsive to Rico. When Rico's on the ground, the AI is more accurate, they're more aggressive, they can melee you. So they force the player into the air, and then when the player gets in the air, the AI will mount guns, they will mount flat cannons and fire at the player when they're in the air. They'll spawn, helicopters will spawn in and try to knock the player out of the air. So the AI is constantly responding to you, and not only in that sense where they're engaging you in combat, but the rebels, which are friendly AI, are also part of the player's arsenal. The player can honk their horn while in a vehicle, and the AI will get in and drive with you somewhere. And if you encounter enemies on the way to where you're going, they'll lean out of the window and start firing with you. Now you have a team that's assisting you. I've definitely heard him use the words Tropic Thunder. He likes the balance of campiness and action in that movie. Rico is a Latin action hero. So I mean, obviously the original Just Causes had that sort of desperado El Mariachi vibe that they were inspired by. And then just the general culture of the studio and the people that build the game, they all bring their own personality when building the world. They, you know the Easter eggs that everybody likes to talk about? None of that stuff's planned. That stuff is developers who love and are passionate about games saying, yeah, what happens if I just do this and I leave it in the game and don't talk about it? Like, everybody's influenced by things they like, and then they try to infuse the game with that. Me personally, I'm influenced by the Expendables. I like the Expendables vibe of action, of fun and big explosions that look real. I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, dudes being dudes. No, it's strictly speaking the action. I think we had a focus on the grappling in JC2. I think once we saw how players played JC2, we realized, I think there's some things we can do here to make it even better. So yeah, we pushed those updates into the game. It's now more fluid, vaulting over ledges, grappling up vertical landscapes. All these things are now more fluid because we knew we needed to improve on them. But we've put no more or less time in the grapple hook than we did maybe vehicles or the parachute or the wingsuit. It was all equally important to us. Vehicles. We're segueing into vehicles. We updated all the vehicle models. Boats, airplanes, cars, helicopters. We completely revamped all of those models. We actually, the guys that worked on our vehicle models are the same guys that worked on Need for Speed games and the Burnout series. So they were able to bring over some things that helped us realize those vehicles a bit better, make them feel a little bit more weighty, more rewarding, more like tools for the player. But at the same time, we just caused them up a bit to give them that sense of arcadiness that vehicles are an extension of Rico. They should always be an extension of the player. They should always be a tool for the player. We're still, I had a question earlier, how many dual tethers and how strong will they be and what can I do? That's something we're constantly evaluating. We don't know what the sweet spot is. We think, like what you see here today, we think we're close to what we want, but it can always change. It can always get a little better. So I think that we haven't perfectly tuned our physics yet. That's something that right up until we cross the finish line, it'll be a while. We'll lock it down then. I think we like having clear bad guys, and I think Dictator's a clear bad guy. I think it's clear context for the player, and I think it helps us create these sort of larger than life personalities. We don't need to get so complex with our characters. We can have these guys, Rico, this sort of all-powerful action hero, and Daravalo, this sort of Medician Darth Vader, evil, shadowy figure. We can have those things, and it's just very clear to you, good and bad. And I think that's good. I think that's okay. I think that's fun. We're not really talking about the story. Not really talking about the story just yet. But here's what I can tell you, because it's a very difficult number to find. The missions will push you into situations where you're interacting with the world, where you're in towns, where you're in bases, where you're driving along roads. And we never tell the player, no, don't go there. That's a big core company philosophy, as well as a brand philosophy, is if the player can see it, they can poke it. If they can poke it, it'll react to you. And the player is always leaping first and thinking later. So we're never saying no. So in that sense, you can be in a mission that may only be an hour's worth of mission from beginning to end, but who knows, as a player, what you're going to do, if you're going to go here or there, if you're going to decide to wingsuit down a cliff in the middle of a mission and just abandon it completely. Like, we never stop you, so it's really hard to create a number. I mean, there was a playthrough a few weeks ago where all 2 guys did when we locked them in a room with the game is blow up the bridge. They did it for like 2 hours. They never even did anything else. And they just, yeah, I mean, does that count? That's 2 hours right there. So I'm not exactly sure what the count is, but this is what I can tell you. There's more vehicles and weapons than there were in JC2. And JC2 had quite a bit. There's probably not enough weapons in JC2, and we've probably easily doubled that, if not gone even farther up. I mentioned the tunnels and the cave system. I guess we didn't have that in JC2. So with one of our biggest new integrations into the Avalanche engine is our terrain tool. It allows us to carve out interesting landscapes, overhangs, big cliff sides, a cave system that's worthy of exploration, tunnels that the player can free fall, wingsuit, or drive through. That was one of the biggest additions to Just Cause 3. Oh God. Hold on, I gotta zen out for a second. Okay, so I was talking about AI earlier. So when you honk your horn, AI will get in the vehicle with you. So as a player, you can, once the AI is in the vehicle with you, you can set a waypoint on a place you want to go. And then if you decide to come out of the driver's seat, the AI will drive to where you've set your waypoint while you're still in the vehicle. So I saw a guy, actually it was a girl. She set a checkpoint on a military base. The rebels drove with her while she was stunting on the roof of the car. And they jumped off of a ramp, which I've never seen in a game. They drove really fast at a ramp because the waypoint was in front of the ramp, and they jumped off of the ramp into the base. And she was like firing in all directions, and the rebels were firing out of the window, and it was just sort of like one of those Starsky and Hutch, like Dukes of Hazzard, like what? And then she jumped off of the vehicle, and the car hit a fuel tank, and everybody died, except for Rico. So that was probably one of the zanier moments, and it gets crazier and crazier. It gets crazier and crazier. By far, the wingsuit. It just adds that perfect trifecta of traversal. Like it gives you that element of velocity that you really needed when you're dealing with a big giant open world game. You want to be able to go from A to B quick, and it adds to that sense of creativity in the wingsuit courses and what the player can do from wingsuit. Definitely, it's definitely the wingsuit. Super cool, and you can detonate C4 from wingsuit. What? I mean, I would just do that all day. Yes. Yes. I've done it. I can do it. I'll do it right now. Give me a controller. How much time do you have? What's forever? Is that an hour? 4 hours? 5 hours? Until you pass out, I can do it. You just got to give me a controller. So AI is one of the most unobvious answers. Obviously, the wingsuits is huge. The destruction is all procedural and dynamic now. No one destructible object will destroy the same way twice. The health bars are gone. You now have to look at what you're doing and get a sense of whether it's destroying or whether it's destroyed, which helps keep you immersed in the world. So yeah, I mean, those are some of the newer things.
Hoffentlich sind jetzt auch bei euch keine Fragen mehr offen. Wir waren auf jeden Fall sehr angetan von all den hübschen Explosionen und vor allem auch von der neuen Wingsuit-Action in Just Cause 3. Ende des Jahres geht's los. Dann dürft auch ihr euch ins Getümmel stürzen und ordentlich die Sau rauslassen. Feuer frei!